I am with Brooklyn artist ZoScrilla. This is the first artist I have brought on the show from the East Coast, from New York. And you guys know once a month I like to bring artists on from anywhere other than California. We gotta, I love Sacramento. Sacramento, what's up, Sacramento, stand up, Brooklyn. But I wanted to
Shout
take my
out West
time,
Coast.
the right artist to represent Brooklyn, okay, to represent New York. And so I ran into ZoScrilla. You guys know, you've been watching my stories. You guys know I love Infinite Love regardless. I mean, this is the artist that produced that great music, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going to put his overlay on again just to let you guys see, just in case it went out. This is a ZoScrilla, you guys. So, what's up?
How you doing, Rossi? Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so happy that you took time out of your schedule. He's on location today with another artist. They're shooting a video out at Coney Island, you guys. That's the backdrop that you guys see. ZoScrilla, so I discovered you like a few months ago. Like I was telling you backstage, you guys know how I do. I go on their Instagram, I listen to their music, I watch their monologues, and if it sounds good to me, looks good to me, and it hits me, it's like, oh my gosh. And then I try to find out everything about the artist. And I did the same thing with ZoScrilla. I ran into a song called Infinite Love, and I absolutely love that song. I was telling ZoScrilla, the song sounds like I hit it on the radio. Like I came home and it was like on a top 20 video on like a BET or Rap City, whatever. But it was one of those songs that was like, who is this? This song is dope. Production's dope, and it's ZoScrilla. Tell them a little bit what you told me about that song, Infinite Love.
Okay, so like I was telling you earlier, Rossi, that song is actually one of the very first songs. Not my very first song out of my whole career, but when I changed my name to ZoScrilla, my original rap name was Zo the God. I changed it to ZoScrilla. When I changed it to ZoScrilla, Infinite Love is the very first song that I dropped under that stage name.
Right, right. The
Yeah,
what was the
you know that
let's
song.
go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, nah, what you gonna ask me?
Well,
Cause maybe
I
I
wanted
can
to know,
elaborate
like,
better.
how did you come up with the song? Where were you at? To make such a song, for a song like that to be your first song, what a hit! Did you know it would be a hit when you were writing it? Like, tell us about it.
Um, no. Okay, so the song is basically, in short, basically, me being able to, use my networking abilities and, the connections I've made in the streets and to basically survive on the streets, hence the name Infinite Love, which is,
Right,
you know, it's so much terrible things going on in the streets, but there's just that little element of love between some of the people that I know in the streets that allows
right,
me, to survive and pull in certain resources to make certain moves.
right.
And I wanted to be able to tell a certain story about what I'm going through, and as well as show what I got, because I can rap lyrically, I can put together something catchy, and I can sing, a little bit. And I wanted to be able to, you know, how can I deliver that all at once and get the point across in a short amount of time? And I guess that's what came out of my head.
Wow. How did others perceive it? Did they perceive the song like I did? Like, gosh, a great song, love it. Did you get a lot of love from that song?
I did get a lot of love from the song, especially to say it was my first song under the name ZoScrilla. A lot of people feel like it competes with other drill songs. That's probably not as let's say conceptual.
Right.
Other people feel like it's a storytelling song. I definitely was more vulnerable in that track than I am in certain other tracks. So you know once the women like it, I'm fine.
We love it. We
Yeah,
absolutely love
yeah,
it. I get a lot of hits on my story when I play. That's why I play it all the time, because I want people to really know that song. And I can't promote you without promoting that song. I mean, it's just, you have it like pinned. That song is great, but also you have a lot of classics. I mean, you've been doing this for some time. Let's see, you have Pressure,
mhm,
Love Pressure,
yeah.
Love Pressure. And
Thank
that
you,
was
thank
directed
you.
by Ten Bodies. And if you guys follow ZoScrilla, you'll see Ten Bodies is all out on his. I mean, that he directs. He does, you work with him very closely, and he's very good at directing your videos. Regardless, I love Regardless. Regardless
Me
is a dope
too.
song. That's another classic. Also, there was one that was a little different, but I really love it. I think I saw you perform it. It was Flock Together. It's kind of like a ghetto gospel song that you had labeled it under, but I love that
Yeah.
too because you are hard in a lot of your other songs, but then you have something like you said, Infinite Love, where you're a little bit more vulnerable, or something like Flock Together. I love that you show that side of you. Um, Collabs though. Tell me about collabs because you got ZoScrilla has a collab pack. You guys, when you guys link up to his Instagram and you're able to go on his Instagram, you hit the links, it will take you to his website. He's got a lot going on. What do you collabs? I love that you do a lot of collabs. Tell me about that. Like, are these close friends?
Um,
Are these people that are under the same label?
well, lately I have been doing collabs with, other underground artists who's in the New York scene. But my original collabs that people love, that people know and love me for, those are collabs with artists who are my friends. They are people that I respect in this field immensely. They're very good at their craft.
Right.
Um, like I said to my friends, I've known them probably 10 plus years. So one of the people I got songs with is Ricky Kanes. If you ever check him out, he makes moves out in LA right now. I think he might be in Miami, but he's somebody I went to high school with. We all came up under the same umbrella as far as music, and we all came up honing our crafts together and things like that. And when we was like 2021, we came up with a plan to go back to our respective roots. Like me originally being from New York, well, at this time when we hatched this plan, I'm living in Georgia. So me originally being from New York, him originally being from Miami. I got another homie named Stick on Bang. You might see me collaborate with. He's originally from Miami. Also met him in Atlanta, and a few other artists from Atlanta. We all made up this plan to just kind of dominate in our respective areas and be able to come together like Voltron when it's time and
Right.
just make the best music and push the best business plans forward as far as what direction we want for our music, if that makes sense.
I get that absolutely.
And
Let me
so
mention
these
a few of
these are
those
frequent
collabs.
collaborators.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
you collab with Richie Price. I love Up Down.
Mm.
Up Down's really dope. That's another classic collab that you did. Mars with Ricky Kanes. That one's really dope. Also, the newer one, Sneaky.
Sneaky Link. Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
Do you like that song?
yeah, I do. Yeah, at first I was kind of like, "Girl, you shouldn't be listening to this song." And I'm like, "Stop playing. You know you like this song. Stop playing. You know you
It's
like it."
one of
Yes,
those. Yeah.
yes, it's a good song. Tell me really quick, just something off the side. What is Taco Tuesdays?
What is Taco Tuesdays? Okay, so not only am I a rapper, I'm also an event curator with Miss Keys. She's not only my manager, but she's my best friend also, and she's my basically co-CEO as far as the event curation brand. So we throw a bunch of events, Taco Tuesday being one of them. We have a last year we threw a rooftop party. We're about to have another rooftop party, and this is just my way of our way of pretty much giving back to the community. A lot of people, whether they be rappers, DJs, photographers, videographers, models, they come out and they support us. And we want everybody to have trying to build a community, a nice, safe place for everybody to come through and network and, push themselves forward and vibe at the same time. You get what I'm
Right,
saying? So, we put together concerts, open mics, all kind of things. You know.
right. I also want to mention open mics because I mean you're also a freestyle rapper, and I didn't even know I ran across that because just to let you guys know before I interview the artist, I'll frequently go on their page because they may have new music that I didn't hear about, so I want to make sure I stay up to date on what's going on with them before we do the show. So I ran into your freestyle, which was dope as hell. I think there was one line where I made the two girls I made them both comers. It was something like that. Anyways, it was a really slick line. Loved
Yeah.
it a lot. The freestyle was dope. Tell me about freestyle because was that your
Um,
original thing that you like? Did you originally start freestyling and then got into okay, I want to
yeah,
make
I kind of do a little bit of both. I'll probably come up with some bars that's off the top, premeditated, and I'll do a little 4 or 5 bars of that and go into some writtens that I know quite well. So,
no, it's
but
good. It was really good.
these even those are premeditated just for these moments. Like I don't just make songs, catchy songs. Like whenever it's time to get busy with the bars, I do that. I'm a New York
Right.
artist, straight to the core. Ain't no way
There you
around
go.
it. So
Yeah, I was when I saw that, I'm like, damn, and he freestyles. Like a lot of rappers freestyle, but you can tell those that have written it before or those that can sit there and just spit and just go. And I love that about you. Plus, I love the fact, like you
yeah.
said, you'll bring something, a classic verse that was already written that you already had, and bring it into the freestyle and play around with it. So I
Mm,
really enjoyed that. So that's why I had to post that, and I wanted that to be the last post so that when all the other stories go
mm.
away, that's the last one that they see. I think about these things,
Thank you,
guys. I
thank
think
you.
about how I post their music, how the last one I want to stay up. So we don't just put it up there, but you are an artist out of Brooklyn. Tell me about growing up in Brooklyn. Who were you as a
Um,
young kid growing up in Brooklyn?
wow, that's a good question because nobody really asked me that. Um,
Oh,
being that I moved to Georgia at like 12 or 13. So a lot of my friends, they kind of see me as like, oh, homie just came back from Atlanta and whoop, whoop, whoop. But very rarely do people ask me that. I don't know. I was just a young kid growing up in Crown Heights.
okay.
Pops was doing his thing in the streets. My mother worked real hard. We had our little tiny apartment in Flatbush over there on Ocean Avenue, and only thing that mattered to me at the time was probably like love and family. Of course things happen in the streets and stuff like that. I got family in the streets. You see some crazy things in the streets. People getting shot, all kind of stuff like that. But through all that, I had um I had family, man. I had a pretty nice upbringing. Even though I come from a family of men who they dabbled in the streets too, but most important to us is love.
Right,
So
right.
and originally my roots from my father's side of the family, they originally like from South Carolina.
Okay.
So I would grow up in Brooklyn, but every summer we'd probably go to South Carolina, definitely get in touch with the old family members and stuff like that. Have barbecues, you know what I mean? Come back
Right,
up, but the streets is Brooklyn is crazy, man. Especially this the early 2000s we talk about. You feel me?
right,
So
right.
man, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's nothing like the drill era. I feel like the things that was going on in the early 2000s are
right.
heightened times five and hyper sensationalized. But
Okay.
yeah, man, it was definitely real though. 'Cause,
I mean, obviously, you had choices like if you wanted to be in the streets or make music.
yeah.
Did you dabble in the streets? Did you have a time where you was like
Um.
just messing around, not gonna do music?
Eventually, um, I think naturally when you're a kid and you growing up,
Yeah,
yeah, the
yeah,
people older than you tell you like, stay out the street, boo, 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 boo. But I think it comes a time when I guess when you get like 17, 18,
yeah.
16 maybe, you start making your
Right,
own decisions and stuff. So definitely I had to dabble in the streets, and
right,
kind of that's where most of the subject matter that I do talk about comes from. Um, Definitely. Definitely made a choice. Definitely sometimes felt like, I was young, feeling like I didn't have a choice.
right,
Sometimes
right.
not everything's always going as well. And when you were younger, you
Yep,
need some money in your pocket. You get me? So
yep.
never did I jump in the streets because it was hyper sensationalized. I was just a young man who needed money. And there's stories that unfolded because of it. And, I don't regret anything about it.
I feel you. I absolutely feel you on that.
Yeah.
Music, like growing up though, what shaped your world as far as music? Because music, everyone has a song that they walk through life with, or the type of music they listen to. What is yours? Who influenced you growing up? Because I mean, obviously we all know, rap music and all that, that's the birthplace of hip hop, New
Yeah.
York. So you have legends in every borough that's around you. What did you listen to? What influenced you?
Right.
What made you want to Skrilla?
That's a that's a real good question. I think I'd have to say, from like a young kid, from probably like 7 to 10, I always had like an ear for sounds that nobody else could really hear.
Okay.
Like I'll be in the car and the radio be on, we'll be listening to sound. I'll be like, "Ma, you can hear this sound? It's like a water drop sound in the beat. Can you hear it?" You're like, how you can hear that? I can't hear that. And I'm like, I don't know, but I hear it though. Like, fast forward to me finally um dabbling in music. At first I got inspired in some hobby stuff. I would see people, I would see kids my age doing it, and they on YouTube. You feel me? And then
Right.
not only from like the kids, like regular kids doing it. Then I think like one day I was a kid, I see Diggy Simmons. He did his little freestyle. I think it was over like Made You Look one time. It was over like a Nas joint, and I was
Right.
really impressed with that as a kid because I think shit, Diggy the same age as me. So at the time we was like what 11, 12,
Right.
and don't get me wrong. I was always like emulating rappers. Like when I was a kid, I used to perform Bow Wow and Lil Romeo songs and stuff. And I
Okay.
was like 4 or 5 years old. But like I think like 12, 13, when I saw Diggy do that freestyle, it really hit me. I'm
Okay.
like, nah, maybe I should really try this rapping shit. And
Right.
of course, around this time, I'm going through a time where like there's no cable in the house. You feel me? I
Okay.
can't.
Okay.
There's no cable. There's no Wi-Fi. All I really got is like battle rap DVDs and stuff to kind of cure my boredom. So I'm like, man, let me try this rap stuff out. So it kind of started as like a hobby. I'm inspired by kid rappers. I'm inspired by the battle rappers and stuff like that. And I'm writing and honing my skills. And one day I told my pops, I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying out rapping. I'm writing stuff in my notebook and stuff. He was like, what? What? He was like, man, you need to start studying for real. I'm like, like, what you mean? He was like, man, you need to get up on Nas and shit. I'm like, I know about Nas. Like, I know about Made You Look. Like, you feel me? I'm rapping to the Made You
Okay.
Look. He like, nah, you need to look at old Nas,
Yes.
Illmatic,
Yes.
Stillmatic. Woo, 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 woo. He like, you
Yes.
need to look at Big L. You need to listen to
Yes.
old Hove and stuff. I'm like, okay, I know the old Hove. He was always bumping
Right.
old Hove growing up. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna look up Big L. I'm gonna look into Nas, and from there I
Yes.
kind of fell in love, and it kind of turned into the lyrical maniac you see before you on this camera.
There was a movie that came out a few years ago, and I think it was called Brown Sugar. And I tell this story all the time. Erica Badu did a song, and I think it was called Love of My Life. And she was talking about falling in love, the love of her life being hip hop music and falling in love with hip hop music. And I think a lot of us have that story when, for me, the way I grew up, my mom played a lot of course, old R&B music, Teddy Pendergrass, Luther, all that. And my sister and I watched a lot of MTV. And we grew up in Merced. We lived in Merced, California, which is probably about 2 hours away from where I'm at right now. But we didn't listen to a lot of hip hop music. My older brother and sister listened to that, and I remember my brother introducing me to E40 and the Click. And I remember hearing that and was like, what is this? It blew my mind. I really loved it. And then when I was introduced to Tupac, I didn't really like him too much because I didn't like his first album that came out because I felt he was just too angry. It was too much. My ears was used to like, teeny bop music. So I couldn't wrap my,
Yeah,
I had to, you know, visit him a little bit later in life, but of course the women love I Get Around and all that. And then when Biggie comes out, and that just blew everyone's mind because everything he touched was just dope. His music was dope.
right.
The old videos of him on the street corners, like rapping, like over beats, just the talent that he had at such a young age, it just opened up my world. And that's when I fell in love with hip hop. And of course, you have, when the South blew up, Outkast and all of them, it was just like, to me, nothing is better than hip hop music. I love the
Yeah,
old stuff, but nothing is better because I love the storytelling. And I have to say, with you and Infinite Love, like you said, it's just storytelling, and it's not telling from you're making it up, or it's just that, like you can tell, like that you're telling your story. And I think that's my favorite thing about hip hop is you put everything to the side. I don't care how dirty or whatever. There's always a story. And when you really get those artists that tell those stories, that's what I fall in love with. I mean, I look for that. For you, did you have any artists on the West Coast that you enjoyed growing up?
Yeah, I enjoyed growing up. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I'm now like growing up. I always fuck with Kendrick. I always fuck with Mitzi. Like, and
Yes.
that's them straight out the gate. Like when they was
Okay.
in the mixtape era and nobody
Okay.
knew about
Okay.
them, and I
Right.
found them on the blog site somehow.
Right.
Like I always loved them. Tupac was
Right.
somebody who kind of like had to grow on me. I didn't always like
Yeah.
him out the gate, but
Right.
now that I'm older and I kind of
Yeah.
see the world for what it is now, I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man, yeah, he had a lot to say.
Right.
And, and yeah, it's a lot of people on the West Coast that influence me, man.
Right.
What's the other little homies that's coming out the Bay? Oh
Um,
man,
is it? Oh my gosh. He's on
bro,
Instagram a lot. He's on Instagram a
yeah,
lot, right?
bro, yeah,
I know that we have Big Chippas. Big Chippas
yes,
is out of Oakland. He is
yeah,
dope as hell. Like
yeah, bro,
an artist like that, there's a lot of artists out, but his music is just, when I heard him for the first time, I went and did the same thing. I subbed and I just listened to all his music. Big Chippas out of Oakland is doing big things.
mhm,
Here in
bro,
California, we have an artist named Yums Awkward. He's out of Carolina. He
yeah,
lives here in Sacramento. He was the first artist that I interviewed. That's he's the one that made me say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to interview artists. It's a lot of young talent and a lot of good talent out here in Sacramento. I mean, crazy talent. Um, what do you think about the South? Do you love the South as well? Are there artists out in the
of
South that you just like, oh my gosh, yeah? Because I mean, you lived in Georgia anyway, so
right, right.
you're
So of course,
Atlanta.
yeah, I
Yeah.
quite naturally I was able to pick up some of that sauce on how they create out there in the Southern Mecca too. You feel me? So I make use of that. Definitely, I got an
Yes.
edge over some of the homies in New York. But
Dude, their
it's a
their
lot.
their sound is great.
Yeah, I'm not really in tune with anybody new per se
Okay.
coming out of Atlanta. Like none of the
Right.
YNs is coming out of Atlanta. But of course, we love Doug. We used to love Gunna
Yes.
before all that the foolery
Yes.
happened. Of course, I like Playboy Cardi. Of course,
Yes.
um, Metro Boomin, he a producer, but
Oh,
he collab with artists
yes.
and drop these
Yes.
artists. And Future, of course, that's one of my favorites.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
Future, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
when Future came
Future's
out,
one of my inspirations. Like,
Future's one of my favorites. I don't think that he gets. I know. I remember back maybe in 2013, 14, he got a lot of love, but I feel like people kind of, did you forget about Future? Did we forget about, what was it? What was it? Stick Talk? Did we forget about that? Did we forget about the early Future? Is what I absolutely love. My brother, may he rest in peace, introduced me to Future, and he was like, you gotta hear. This is my guy right here. Him for the first time, and just his whole sound is just dope. But
yeah,
Future is just, yeah, he's absolutely tops. I love Future. I
yeah.
want to ask you about what's the hip hop scene in Brooklyn? What's it like there?
Yo, the hip hop scene. I'm glad you asked. Thank you for asking because I feel like it's not talked about enough. I feel like a lot of what's going on in New York right now is currently shrouded by what people are looking for in the mainstream, like
Okay.
Ice Spices and things like
Okay.
that, and people base
Okay.
their representation of what New York is, got to offer based off that. But honestly,
Right.
bro, New York has a really diverse and very lit underground culture right now. Like you mentioned my collab, yo, I collab with everybody from like R&B artists to rappers, not just drill rappers. Sometimes
Okay.
you got your hip hop artists, your
Right.
contemporary hip hop homies. Then you got the emo goth rappers and stuff, and they do a
Okay.
little rock star singing on the side. Yo, it's a lot going on in the
Awesome.
underground scene right now, and most importantly, it seems like everybody's in the direction of trying to build community and give everybody a platform to show their stuff. So right now, you see a lot of drop mics,
Okay.
different variations of drop mics. You got the red mic, you got the gold mic, you got the
Okay.
phone booth. You feel
Damn.
me? Then it's all kind of videographers out here. It's all kind of content creators trying to collab with rappers, and they're having their own events, and all the underground rappers and models and
Oh,
coming to this and that. It's a lot going
wow.
on. It definitely needs to be documented. It's definitely a lot going on that has nothing to do with the mainstream space that
Right.
has so much value.
Right. What do you think about that when you do have artists like, for instance, Ice Spice that come out of Brooklyn or whatever, come out of New York,
Mhm.
and like you said, it doesn't give you it doesn't give us as viewers what really Brooklyn's about or New York's about. Does that bother you? Does that, you know what I mean? How do you feel about that?
Does it bother me? No. You wanna know why? Because I feel like I want every artist out of New York to eat. You know, whether it
Okay.
be an Ice Spice or even me. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Whether it be an industry plant or not, you get what I'm saying.
Right.
However the case
Right.
may
Right.
be, when people from outside the state, like I got the homies in Atlanta, be talking shit like that. They be like, "Yo, New York don't got no sound. Y'all sound is Ice Spice." You feel me? When I hear talk like that,
Oh
it's
man.
like, "Yo, bro, nah, you gotta dig a little deeper, do a little bit more research and stuff."
Yes.
Is people like me and other special people out there that's making some really dope music
Right.
that doesn't get the play it deserves, but it will be. You
Oh
feel
yeah,
me?
absolutely will be. Do you want to be signed? I mean, how do you feel about being signed and independent? What's your thoughts on that? Because you don't
Um,
have to now, but I mean, some artists still want to, they want to be signed.
I don't know. I got mixed feelings about it. I think if I sign, I would probably do like a really beneficial distribution deal. Other than that,
Okay.
I don't really sign. I won't don't really have no plan on signing. I kind of want to like push my own brand forward, like
Right.
the boss I imagine myself being, and
Right.
basically I can kind of steer the ship a little better
Right.
with the power in my hands and stuff. Like I don't really want to give my power and creative freedom up a little too early in the game. I've seen a lot of people sign them, get themselves signed while they're still undercooked. Not only are
Right.
they not only are they undercooked development wise, but you know they also get signed to real shitty deals. And it's
Right.
like I don't want to make those moves, so I'm kind of in the space right now to where I can control it and navigate it the way I want to, and I'm kind of happy with it. I don't really have to owe anybody. Nobody got to
Right.
spend no money on no let's say studio time. I got a studio in my crib. I just cook it up, cook the chef the music up, and plot on how I want to deliver it to the people. You know, and it all comes
Right.
back to me.
Right. Do you have other artists, like, being that you are, that you're looking at building your own empire, you being at the top of that? Do you check out other artists to have under you? Is that a plan that you want to do one day, where you put out, where they're all under your umbrella?
Definitely, definitely. I got a lot of little homies that's doing this shit and they hungry. Some of them might be hungrier than me. You feel me? And um, some of them are so very close to me that I would never want them to get into the entertainment industry and be misled by
Right.
anybody. You feel me? By somebody who doesn't care for them as much as me. So I
Right.
definitely think about getting a few artists under my umbrella and moving the business forward. But I also want
Nice.
people to like, especially if you a friend of mine and you under me, I want people to know like I don't want to take advantage of nobody. Like this
Right.
is strictly for everybody to develop together
Nice.
and eat. You know,
Nice.
and it's hard to get black people on one accord sometimes. You feel me? So
Speaking of that, like, what's your process? I always like to ask each artist that comes on a show what their process is like when you make music, when you're writing music. Take us through a day with ZoScrilla and your process of creating a new song.
um, dang, that's a good question. Sometimes being that all right, so I always say this thing like I could always hear the music in my head. So no
Okay.
matter what I'm doing, like even now we conversing, like I'm thinking about, what I'm gonna lay down when I get in the crib. So I got a home studio to make sure I make use of every emotion. Like if I'm mad and somehow a song idea jumps in my head from it, I need to be able to manipulate it and make use of it in that moment. And so most of the times it's in that moment. Like if I'm angry, I'm mad, a beat. even if somebody might be driving by and hear the beat, if I hear a cadence and I think of a cadence in my head, I'm going home and I'm laying it down. And once I got a hook in the cadence, I'm doing the verse, and then
Love that. I love
song
that.
coming through.
I love that.
Um,
I noticed you do a lot of live performances as well.
yeah.
Tell me about live performances. I mean, do you do a lot? I mean, how does that work with traveling and being away?
Um, I like well, most of my live performances are in New York. I
Okay.
got a live performance actually coming up in Philly. Probably be my first out of state performance in a while since I performed in LA in 2023.
Wow.
Um, so I don't really leave the state too much. Most of my performances is in New York, so it doesn't really bother me too much. But I got the flexibility that I need to do
Right.
performances out of state. But performances to me are important because, like I said, I'm trying to build community and I got to get out and touch the people. I guess a lot of people on the internet who drop songs and they'll drop a lit song and the song kind of like escapes them. Like people be loving the song
Right.
and they'll never be able to put the face to the song. You see what I'm saying? Like I
Right.
want to make sure not only do you know I'm a good artist, but when you see me on that stage, I'm about to put on a good show, and you're gonna remember that I put on this dope ass show. You see what I'm saying? Like
Right. Right.
that's like my selling pitch to me. Like and even I was kind of brought up that way, like from some of the people who taught me how to maneuver in the entertainment field. Like they was always saying like nobody like a nigga who can nobody like a studio rapper. They could get in the studio and make a nice song, but they can't jump on the stage and deliver it like no,
Right.
that's half-assed. You feel me? So
Right.
I always make sure to work on my stage presence always. And
Right.
these open mics is how I practice. These concerts is how I practice. You feel me for the big stage. So by the time I
Right.
did a stage like SOBs a few years ago, I kind of already had my stage presence there, and certain people already knew me from hitting some of the events. Man, it's important. It's vital to any rapper in their city.
Right. Um, Gosh, I think I lost my train of thought. I was going to ask you also about the internet and streaming platforms. Good or bad? How is do you have a side of it where you don't like, as far as, because everybody can make music on the internet. Everyone has that. What are your thoughts about social media and how it's influenced you?
So I love the accessibility, but of course, with accessibility comes like oversaturation and stuff. So you hear a
Yeah.
lot of music that's dirt, and it kind of turned the music industry into like a popularity game. Like, oh, we only want to listen to him if he has 20K followers, but his music is dirt.
Right.
We don't care. He has 20K followers. Um,
Right.
However the case may be, I saw these social media platforms kind of turn everybody from just artists to like full on businessmen, like full on videographers, graphic
Right.
designers. It kind of
Right.
changed the game in such a way that it made you have to go harder. It made certain people realize they gotta be more than just artists. And sometimes
Right.
that's okay. Sometimes that's okay
Right.
when it comes to um which is what we all want to do, owning our craft and owning our masters. Yeah, sometimes you gotta be the videographer. You gotta be the graphic designer. You gotta
Right.
it's cool.
Right. Um, so let people know, because I call you hip hop artist, rap artist. Describe your music to those that are going to be listening. Thank you guys that are listening online. Just to let you guys know, I'm talking with ZoScrilla. He's an artist out of Brooklyn, New York, and you guys, I appreciate you guys joining me. This episode's going to drop soon. To all those that are listening, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and enjoying Rossi's Clubhouse. So, but describe your music to the folks.
That's a good question. Describe it. I would have to say it's an experience. I know there's not much, but it is an experience, especially if you kind of like want to hear a breath of fresh air. Like originally, I did not want to sound like nobody. Like I want to compete. You
Right,
know, I would never really label myself a drill artist, but I'll
right,
jump on a drill beat
right,
specifically to compete. But my ultimate goal is to make an experience for the listener. I want you to have a different experience. Like when you step away from the parties that come with all like blah blah boom and they smoking and dissing on ops, you see what I'm saying? You can kind of vibe to the same thing, but not exactly that. Like my shit has a little bit more substance. It's not just smoking on ops and spinning blocks and shit.
Right.
You feel me? There's
Right.
elements of that in
Right.
there, but it's more storytelling. Something
Yes.
that not only can you vibe to, but you can relate to it if you're really outside. See what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And so it's an experience. You feel me? A definitely more refined, a refined experience that I hope people love. Is
Oh
definitely from my
yes.
point of view.
Oh yes. Yes. And I can contest to that. Absolutely. You get a little bit of everything. So
Yeah.
like I said, I fell in love with ZoScrilla's music, and you guys will enjoy that as well. New music. I know you have new music. I know you're working on new music. This is your time to tell us about new music, shout outs, all that stuff. This is all
All right,
you.
so look, I ain't gonna say too much. I ain't gonna tell too much. You feel me? I'm gonna tell you, Rosie, because you my
Okay.
homie. We've been talking for a few months. You heard. I'm working on two projects right now. Before the summer's over, I'm trying to have them make very small projects, probably like 8 or 9 tracks for each. Um, one being called Skrilla Season, and then the other one being called Skrilla City. Um, the title's kind of paying homage to, you know, some of the older big bros of this Skrilla shit, from back in the early 2000s, when there was the homies in my hood was called Gay Skrilla, and which is another mixtape that I was inspired by as a kid, and I kind of wanted to pay homage to that. You feel me? A lot of them, some of the homies back then, they stopped rapping, but they support what I got going on. They also support me having the Skrilla moniker and really putting on for the hood in such a way that makes us look good. So I pay homage to them by having Skrilla City,
Right.
paying homage to the old mixtape Skrilla City and Skrilla Season, and it's a go. Thriller season is probably going to have like mostly tracks that you can vibe to through the summer party club. Mostly tracks that you can hear in the party or hear around some women or hear in the club. And Thriller City is going to be more, probably more experimental, probably a little bit more gritty, a little more dark.
Love it.
I'm experimenting with my vocals a little bit, my vocal ranges, my auto tune ranges, while still keeping it lyrically inclined. So just to provide the best experience that I possibly can, man. So look out for that. Skrilla City, Skrilla Season, man. It's coming. Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Um, just a little bit. One more question though. When you're not doing all of this, Taco Tuesday, all the stuff that you do, what do you do to chill? What's your summer like? Do you play games? Like, what do you do just to relax? Or are you just, because you do have a studio in the house? I know you're always doing that, but you have to have time where you just you.
Well, when I'm chilling, man, I like to just, kick it, smoke with my pops, man. I'll probably go walk my dog or some shit. Go kick it with gang, man. Probably talk about some business moves, or we ain't talking about business moves. We laughing, we kicking shit, we joking, ha ha. Feel me? Feel me? Sometimes it ain't all good, and you gotta laugh to keep from crying. You feel me? So that's
Yes.
that's one of my
Yes.
favorite things to do, man. Go around some people I love the most and just have a good time, laugh a little.
Love
Word.
that. Love that. So, being that your dad did not want you to do music, how does your family feel now that they see you're making it, you're doing it? Like it's how do they feel about you and music?
Mm, They always have mixed feelings about music. Yeah, they always have mixed feelings about me doing music, but I think the part first of all, they support me. They support anything I do, all
Okay.
the way around from the gate. So let's say that. Let's get that clear. They support anything
Okay.
I do, but of course they got mixed feelings about the entertainment industry is the devilish game, and you got people
Right.
selling their souls metaphorically and lyrically. I mean lyrically and literally. You feel me?
Right.
To actually see some success out here, and I think the thing that they love the most, and I think that I'm able to do this do this music shit, have fun in it, be happy in it, and take care of my business as a man while I'm doing it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
where I could see the most fruitful result without having to sell myself short or sell my morals or sell my soul.
Right.
Whether
Right.
it be literally or metaphorically, you know.
Right.
So and they love that. They enjoy it. It kind of makes the music that much more real, that much more potent for them.
Right.
And you know, Pop, you know, I'm just like him. You feel me? So when he hear it, he can relate to it. And you know, I really had fun with this shit. I love this shit.
I love that. ZoScrilla in 5 years.
Ghost Thriller in 5 years. That's a good
Yeah.
question. Ghost Thriller in 5 years, hopefully, is uh, the mogul that he wants to be. His music is selling. Maybe even if it's not the top seller, I'm making enough money off my music to where you know I'm comfortable and I can keep working in the direction that I need to in a good space. Hopefully, my businesses are off the ground, whether it be the event business or the drink business. I don't think I told you I have a drink business. I make drinks. I
No,
go to
no.
events and sell drinks and
Tell me
shit.
about that. Tell us about the
Yeah,
drink business.
so me and Miss Key, she's also, you know, one of the co-founders in the business. We go to events and we either vend at the events or even just sell drinks to the community, just you know, just to be there.
Right.
However the case may be, it reflects greatly on the brand, and I'm trying to take the brand bigger as well as the event brand, which is Highlight Social. Just trying to make
Okay.
them both as big as possible and make everything coordinate. Um, I feel like you know obviously drinking comes to partying and music are hand in hand in the entertainment
Yeah.
industry. So I'm just trying to make everything grow for about 5 years. Maybe the drink business, maybe I'll have my drinks in stores, my cocktail mixes in the stores, and
Right.
the High Life social brand to be a very reputable event brand that when you hear about it, people be like, "Oh, no, I'm coming to New York City to go to a High Life social party." Like, I got you.
Right.
So Skrilla, yeah,
Right.
we did.
Well, let me tell you, absolutely talented. Enjoyed getting to know you. I was telling you, and you'll hear your voice message. Just to let you know, anytime you want to come back, anything you want to promote, the albums that the music that you have coming out, actually, just let me know, Rossi. Want to do another show? I'll probably reach out to you before you reach out to me because I always like to do a catch up on artists that came on the show. But I mean, you're doing big things. I love what you're doing. So happy that I ran into your page. I mean, it's been great discovering your music. Is there anything you want to say to the folks? You have people you want to shout out, give your thanks, your all of that. Your time to do that.
First and foremost, man, let me shout out to the hood, man. Shout out my hood. Shout out Brooklyn. Shout out Franklin Avenue. Shout out Crown Heights. You feel me? That's one of the reasons I do it. Shout out my family. Shout out my pops, my mom. Shout out my best friend, manager. Feel me? Co-CEO and all that. Miss Keys. Big shout out to her because she's amazing. Everyone loves her. You feel me? Especially me.
I get that.
Big shout out to her. Of course, big shout out to Highlight Social, man. Big shout out to Game Skrilla. Big shout out to you, Rossi, for even
Thank you.
having me. Thank you
Thank
for having
you.
me, man.
Of course.
I didn't even know that my music was even reaching anybody to the likes, of Sacramento. That's
Oh
really
yeah.
amazing to me. That's a dope feeling to me. And you were very in depth. You asked me great ass questions. You actually touched
Thank
on
you.
things I didn't know you was going to. You feel me? I love that. I love every part of it.
Thank you.
Um,
I appreciate that. And I
yeah,
want to
man.
give love to Miss Keys. Thank you so much. I was telling Zoe, you coming into my chat, you saying hi, Mother's Day, just all of that. I really appreciate that. I can feel your love. I can feel your vibe. Then telling me that you represent this artist, like it all makes sense because I see you together all the time, and you always I see your events and everything. So Miss Keys, thank you so much for just being a kind person. Just I really appreciate that. I really, really
Definitely
do.
spread love the Brooklyn way, man. Whenever
Oh
you
my
out in
gosh.
Brooklyn, definitely touch down. Come see us.
Of
We could
course. Of
come to an
course.
event,
That's
or
my
even just
goal.
come out and kick it.
That's my goal is to be able to go and see you guys face to face and do that. And like you said, we're growing. To those that watch Rossi's Clubhouse, again, thank you guys so much. This is a bonus clip, you guys. Zoe just and I we just got done finishing up a live or a recording. This is a
Yup.
little bonus for you guys. Okay, so thank you guys again. Let me let you know who's coming up next here on Rossi's Clubhouse. We have an artist out of Sacramento. You guys, he had a Christmas song that he did last year, went absolutely viral. Henny Holyfield. He also has Top Shelf Radio. You guys can check that out on YouTube. Henny's doing big things. Henny, thank you so much. I cannot wait to talk to you. Absolutely talented. We have Miss let's see, Alicia. Let's see. Let me make sure because I want to say you girl. You know I want to say your name differently, but let me get my calendar out. Okay, so on the 28th we have Alicia Marie. You guys, she's out of Carolina, North Carolina. This I ran into her, and I'm telling you guys, you are going to love her music. It's R&B music. Her voice. I mean, this girl sounds like an Erica Badu. I mean, she sounds like Amy Winehouse. She's absolutely beautiful, very talented. I cannot wait to talk to you, love. Also, you guys, on Movie Lovers Unite, the other podcast that I'm on, the movie review podcast, on the 30th of July, I will be with Amanda Cook. She works for DM Studios. I work with her sometimes. We do a lot of big things over at DM Studios. Amanda's going to come on, and we're going to review and talk about Mommy Dearest. And then on the 16th, my guys will be joining me, Trust and Padawan Frito. We are your Rossi Talks games, and we're going to talk about summer games that are out, you guys, games that I'm looking forward to, games that I just completed, you guys. I've been doing a lot of work with these games. I've just completed like 3 freaking games. So I can't wait to talk to you guys about summer games. And again, John DeGregorio, thank you so much for being the producer, the editor for Rossi's Clubhouse, and all of those that help, those that listen. Thank you so much for the 5-star reviews, making Rossi's Clubhouse number 22 out of 100 podcasts last week. We hit number 3. We hit number 1 a few months ago, you guys. So we are on that list. Thank you guys so much. ZoScrilla, don't go anywhere. Thank you so much. I'm going to play out our outro, and I want to thank you, Chiller Tribe Mosey. Thank you so much for giving me the music, the outro. And you guys, Chiller Tribe has a new album out. It's called Villains. He's doing big things here in Northern California in Sacramento. So Chiller Tribe Mosey, thank you so much. Let me put up this is ZoScrilla, you guys. You guys can link up with them in the description of the video. And thank you again, Chiller Tribe Mosey, for this.
There are a whole lot of Skrilla, bro.